If you've ever been worried about what's going to happen to your business if you decide to go on vacation or maybe get sick, I just got over COVID. I was basically away for like 2 weeks. I mean, it wasn't the worst thing ever, thankfully, but I obviously had to take some time off in order to focus on recovering and just resting. So the question that a lot of people get to have is, what happens if I get sick? Or what happens if I want to go on vacation? How do I ensure that my business is able to still run even though I have clients, even though I have all these different things going on, so that basically the progress doesn't get derailed? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. But first, I want to take you on a little bit behind the scenes with me. Happy Monday, you guys. How are you doing? So today is the first day that I'm back officially, like full force in terms of my work day, in terms of my daily habits and everything. And it's been kind of annoying to not be able to do my regular stuff because of COVID. I was out of commission for maybe 10 or 12 days or something like that. It wasn't too bad, but it definitely disrupted my regular routine. It's Monday. I'm back to my regular routine. This really made me realize why it's so important to have a business that allows you to take time off if you need to, for example, if you get sick. And I'm going to tell you about the elements that you need to have in place in order to allow for your business to do that. Or if you don't have a business, what to ensure you do have when you're starting that business. Now, before we do that, I'm going to take you along with me as I get some errands done, some of my daily routines, starting with, I love to start the day off with going to the gym and then get groceries. I have to get my passport pictures, mail something at FedEx, and then we're going to get back into the office and get some work done. So come along with me. All right, got done with all my errands. Time to get home and eat and then start the work day. All right, I am so glad to be back in a swing of things. I feel like anytime I get sick or just have to take a quick leave of absence from a business, I get so many ideas and I just feel like I want to get back into things, but obviously I had to take some time to rest and recover. And obviously there's a lot of people that are getting sick right now, many of whom are entrepreneurs, have businesses. And a big fear I actually used to have is, what would happen if I was to get sick? And I was sick for 2, 3, 4 weeks. And I think a lot of times people create their businesses or they build their businesses that are reliant on them having to just be present all the time, even when they don't necessarily have to structure it that way. And it has been so important for me over the last year to ensure that I have a really solid baseline from active coaching clients and things that are requiring my time, but also creating more scalable and automated elements of my business that allow me to take time off if I need to without having to disrupt the flow of my lead generation, sales, and just ongoing business management. So what I want to tell you a little bit about today is what are some things that I have done, as well as what can you potentially do depending on where you are in business, that will allow you to not feel guilty for having to take some time off to recover from an illness or taking a vacation or what have you. So there are 3 aspects I'm going to talk about today, and these are typically the things that I focus on with my private clients, and that is client management, lead generation, and sales. So I want to break down each of these so you understand what I've been doing in my business, as well as seeing if you can take anything and start applying it in yours. So first, let's talk about client management. So client management is basically how do you manage the clients that you have or the programs that you've created in your business. And I have had my business for almost 8 years now at the time of this recording. So it's definitely been a while. And I've worked with clients in all sorts of different structures and packages. And I will say that what I do right now might not be necessarily what you start doing if you're newer in business, because you need to like get there. So what I recommend for my clients always to focus on first is having a baseline of one-on-one clients. And that is exactly what I do even at this current stage, even after years of running my business. I do have a certain amount of clients that I work with on a one-on-one basis. And you might think, think that, okay, well, that's trading dollars for hours, but is it, right? Because if you structure your packages effectively, it doesn't matter if you get sick, or it doesn't matter really what you do on a day-to-day basis, as long as your clients are getting results and as long as they're getting the features that are in the package, that are in the contract. And it's not based on hourly work, and it's not also based on, how many times you meet and so on and so forth, because that can be flexible and that can always shift and change. So with my private clients, I have 2 different packages. One is the main package that new clients come into, which we do have 4 coaching calls a month, and then they have access to me through Voxer. I also have a retainer package that includes 2 calls a month. So that's more for clients who have already gone through the main package, and if they want to kind of like take it down a notch, they can move into that next package from there. Obviously, if you're on a 2 call per month package, it's pretty easy. I mean, really, you just have to reschedule the calls. You give yourself the time to rest, and basically making sure that your clients understand and respect the time that you do provide and understand what's going on, right? So if you have 2 calls a month, I mean, you just shift them to be happening during the time where you're back to work. Basically, it's as simple as that. Any clients that have been on that package, honestly, haven't felt a difference in terms of me not being as present. Now, clients that are on a 4 call per month package, I did have to cancel the calls during 1 week and move them over to another week. And that just ended up that some clients might end up having 2 calls with me during a certain week, and that's totally fine. And you can also potentially look at what's going to make sense for each client. Do you need to just add on an extra week at the end of your package, or do you want to do 2 calls in a week just to support that client from there? And then Voxer access, I mean, my clients are really reasonable and they do ask for a lot of support, but the beauty of having access through something like Voxer or email support is that you get to type things out when you feel best, right? So I maybe wasn't feeling super great most of the time, but there was maybe an hour or 2 during that second week of being sick that I was actually very much able to think and be able to put together sentences and allow my clients to get the support they needed, even without having to verbally say and verbally record the voice messages because my throat was hurting. I was able to type it out and support my clients that way. So none of my private clients have really felt a huge difference, even though I was sick and not really super present during those 2 weeks. The other part of this you need to consider is your lead generation. So how are you actually getting new people into your community, into your email list, or what have you? So obviously there's a lot of ways for you to do that. You can do it focusing on organic marketing, right? So it's posting on social media. A lot of my clients will focus on Instagram, and it's wonderful, it's great. And there's a few things to consider with that. Number 1 is all of your content already pre-created? Have you batched that content, potentially pre-scheduled it for at least a week, if not more? In which case, great. If you end up wanting to take some time off, then you already know that content is already getting put out. It's already pre-scheduled. It's already been pre-created. Or are you waiting the day of to create the content? If that's what you're doing, which by the way, sometimes it's okay to do that. I certainly do that every so often as well. But I also ensure that I have like a batch of content that I can use and pull from anytime I want to, whether I'm don't have the inspiration to create new content, or if I end up going, getting sick or whatever. So if you're relying on just your energy every day to create content, and if, you decide to take some time off, then no new content is going to be created at all. That is, I would say, a gap that needs to be filled. So look into that a little bit. And the other way that you can potentially get leads as well is through paid advertising. Now, I'm a huge proponent of paid advertising. I don't think it's a good fit for everyone. Like if you're brand new in business, don't do ads, right? I would recommend waiting until you're probably making, I would say, at least $5,000 a month, maybe $10,000 a month. Basically, your one-on-one capacity is filled and you're looking to scale. Great time to start using Facebook advertising or Instagram advertising. That's what I do. And it has allowed me to grow my community, get more leads onto my email list, and just ensure that people are going through my sales process without me having to do pretty much anything except spend money on the ads. And I'm still very profitable with that. So once you're ready for that, there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing it to supplement your organic marketing. And the last piece is really focused on nurturing your community, but being able to also start leveraging some assets that you might have to automate or take some things off of your plate and have someone else do them for you, if it makes sense. So there's a lot that we can dive into this within the area of nurturing or just scaling. And one big thing is to do what I mentioned. So pre-creating, batching your content to ensure that if you decide to take some time off, you can pre-schedule some content to go out to nurture your community that already exists, not necessarily growing, not necessarily generating new leads, but nurturing the leads that are already there. Another thing that you want to potentially do is making sure that you have emails going out. So you can actually pre-schedule several different emails that are going out, whether for the whole month, or better yet, having a whole email nurture sequence that goes out over the course of a year, which is what I do. It makes my life so much easier. I don't have to worry about writing new emails unless I'm doing like a promotion or something like that. And then lastly, if there are any tasks inside of your business that need to be done, for sure, it is a great opportunity for you to start potentially offloading that to someone on your team. So hiring someone to take care of some of these pieces for you. So once you have programs that are more scalable and once you're a specific income level, you don't have to be doing everything yourself. I have associate coaches in my programs where I pay them every month to do coaching calls for my clients or to nurture the community and ensure that the community and the student group is really getting all the support they need. So I don't have to be doing that myself, and the program continues to be able to be run even if I have to take some time off, go on vacation, or recover from being sick. So with all that said, there's a lot more involved here, and obviously it's going to be very reliant on where you currently are in business. Are you new? Are you more established? Are you looking to scale into like $500,000? And each of those are going to require a different set of activities that will make sense for you. Now, the best thing for you to do is to work with someone that will support you with that. If you don't have a business coach right now that you're working with, you can definitely check out my website, learn a little bit more about me, and see if you're interested. Go to heartbehindhustle.com and check me out a little bit more. It sounds weird. Check me out. What's up? Or just leverage the coach that you're already working with and see how far they can take you. Either way, it's so important for you to start thinking about these areas. How can you start creating a business that will allow you to take all the time off that you need to without worrying or feeling guilty or adding to your stress when you already, we want you to have less stress, not more stress. Thanks so much for being here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.